Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Pyro Gunner, and this video was originally going to be about why No Man's Sky is my most anticipated game of 2015. But something that I thought about before doing that is that a lot of games in 2014 were pretty disappointing, and I shouldn't get myself all hyped up for this game because it might just disappoint me. So that's kind of what this video is going to be about. Just things on excitement levels and hype of games before they come out versus what you actually get when a game comes out and how much people are interested in that sort of stuff. So something that I've really been noticing, and this is mostly within like how long the next gen consoles have been out, but even somewhat before, is that it seems like people enjoy games more before they actually come out. It seems like people enjoy getting hyped up for games more than they enjoy playing the games like once they're actually out. And it seems like people only play games for 1 week and then don't really care about it after that. And it's like, was all of those months of hype really worth that? So that just means that people are easily pulled into hype, and then they are disappointed with the games when they come out. In 2014, a lot of games were broken or just not what people thought they would be. And I think that as gamers, we really need to learn from mistakes that we made in 2014 of hoping these games would be as good as they were, and in 2015, basically just not get as excited for games. So what most game companies that are making or publishing games, they want to hype us up. They want us to get super excited so that we pre-order the game and they get money. And what's good about us pre-ordering for them is that means that we have bought a game before it comes out. So then once it comes out, if the game gets bad reviews or people say, oh, this game is broken, then that's not going to influence our purchasing choice because we already chose to buy it months before. So don't let yourself be easily tricked into following this hype, because in general what I've noticed is getting hyped up for a game really creates a lot of impossible to meet expectations of how good games will be or of how innovative they will be, and that can be a big problem when the game comes out and you realize it was nothing like what your brain imagined it being like. So let's still talk about No Man's Sky a little bit. That game looks awesome. The art looks absolutely beautiful. The concept of it, flying around to these different planets and exploring them and landing on one and taking off from one with no load time, that seems absolutely awesome. But I think that many people, just because that is a game mechanic that is not in many games, it's actually in some like PC space simulators or something, but like not really on console games at all. Because people see that, they start to expect that this game will also innovate in so many other ways, and that just because the world of this game is infinite and procedurally generated, then that means there will be infinite things to do in this game, and there's just going to be so much to do. Now, I'm not saying that No Man's Sky is going to be a bad game or that it won't have enough to do. I'm just saying that most questions that the developers have been asked, they've said no to, like when they were asked something like, oh, well, will this be in the game? No. Will this be in the game? No. Will this be in the game? No. See, like, people are just expecting that because the developers at Hello Games have innovated in one way that they will do it in many other ways. And that's not necessarily the case. So far we know that in No Man's Sky you will be able to fight some stuff, you will be able to trade in some way, either some sort of a currency or resources, and you will be able to buy new ships, and you can explore stuff. Now, I don't know exactly how that's going to play out, and hopefully that will be enough stuff to keep us happy in No Man's Sky, but it might not be. Also, I certainly do hope that No Man's Sky does end up being a really good game. I think that the developers of that game definitely seem very passionate about making it, but that doesn't mean that they'd even have enough time to put in as many things as people assume will be in there just because there's this infinite procedurally generated universe. So for me, what I have really started doing, which is a result of games like Infamous Second Son being a major disappointment. I'd say that Infamous Second Son is probably the game that I have got the hype to most forever, for sure. And that game definitely did not live up to the hype. Also, I know for many people, games like Destiny, Watch Dogs, and Assassin's Creed Unity did not live up to the hype that they created in their minds for it. And yeah, that really does suck. But fortunately for me, I was not even interested in getting those games. So the games that I am looking forward to in 2015 that haven't come out already, because Evolve was on that list, but it just came out. Those games are like in order of when they come out. Bloodborne, Batman Arkham Asylum, no, not Arkham Asylum, that came out years ago. Batman Arkham Knight, No Man's Sky, which I already talked about, and Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. So those are the main ones. There's a few other ones, like Tom Clancy's The Division is one of them. But basically, I just want to talk to you guys right now what I am doing to make sure that I do not get hyped for these games. So I guess I'll just talk about The Division first. That game, it looks like it has an awesome concept to it, but it's made by Ubisoft, which, if you look at Ubisoft's games in 2014, pretty much their only AAA game that came out last year that I've heard people saying is actually pretty good is Far Cry 4. Pretty much all of their other games were really broken and just not very good games, or at least not living up to what people thought they would be. Although I have heard that in Far Cry 4 there were quite a few bugs and glitches with being able to do the multiplayer or something like that. But yeah, that's why I have absolutely no hype or excitement for that game anymore, basically. Then for Bloodborne, I really don't know how it's going to turn out, and the basic thing for all of these games is we don't really know how good they will be until they come out and we play them for ourselves. So don't judge a game based on what is being shown to you, and a lot of developers, when they advertise their games, they like to focus on showing you the good graphics because, you know, it's next gen, so they want to promote, oh, our game is so next gen that our graphics look just as good as all these other games with good graphics. Like, great. Your graphics are good, that's fine, but that's not the most important thing in a game. The most important thing in a game is obviously the gameplay, because it's a video game. It has to be interactive and in some way satisfying to your senses of stuff, whether it's a fun game or whether it's something different, like The Last of Us isn't necessarily fun, but it's an enjoyable game to play. Kind of. Like, it makes you really sad in some ways, but you know what I mean. So yeah, then for Batman Arkham Knight, I am excited for that game because I have played Arkham Asylum, and I started playing Arkham City, but I'm not done with it yet. And I really like those games. But I have to be honest, Arkham Knight really, really worries me. Like, yes, it's being made by Rocksteady, which many people think are very good game developers. But in like almost every trailer and gameplay that they show for that game, they show off the Batmobile, which I think it looks great because they are going to have a much bigger open world map, so you need a way to get around faster. So having the Batmobile makes a lot of sense, and honestly I think that's awesome, but I feel like it might be overused in that game just because they have it, because it's in like every single advertisement thing for that game, almost, if not everyone. And there seems to be a lot focused on the Batmobile combat, which honestly, to me, it doesn't look that interesting. Hopefully it feels good, but for me, in the Batman Arkham games, I like being stealthy, I like doing the hand-to-hand combat stuff, and, you know, the things that feel the most Batman-y. To me, just being in the Batmobile and shooting stuff doesn't feel Batman-y. Batman-y! That's a new word. So yeah, and then for Uncharted 4, honestly, that is the only game on this list that I can say I am already getting hyped for, and I will continue to get hyped for that game as it gets closer to its release, and that is because Naughty Dog has proven that they can make really good games. I think that Uncharted 3 was the worst of their games that I have played, but Uncharted 3 wasn't even that bad, even though it's the worst Naughty Dog game I've played. And honestly, like, I could make even like a whole other video talking about this, but having Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley taking what they learned from making The Last of Us into Uncharted 4 now. I just think this game is going to be really good. Honestly, I'd say it's probably going to be the new best Uncharted game, but I don't necessarily want to set my expectations that high, just so that I'm not disappointed by that game. So yeah, what games are you guys excited for? I would encourage not being excited for them, to be honest. Like, maybe a little bit, but not that much, because honestly, they might disappoint you. Now, the 2015 that was on my list of most anticipated games that has already come out was Evolve, and so far from what I have played, that game has not disappointed me. So I'm glad that I kept my expectations low and didn't really get excited for it, and so far I am really enjoying Evolve. Now, tons of people hate that game because it has a lot of DLC on day one, but it's just skins in the season pass, so I don't really get what all the fuss is about. Like, I know that people think that, oh, this was part of the game, but they took it out just to make you pay more to get the full game. And yeah, that's totally true, but it doesn't ruin the game. It's not like a pay-to-win sort of microtransactions thing. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you get the points of what I'm saying, and I hope that you can put this to use and not be disappointed by games that much in 2015. Hold up, guys, I just forgot to add something to that commentary, which is a pretty important thing. I think that you shouldn't pre-order games, unless it's like Uncharted 4, because you pretty much know that will be good with the quality that Naughty Dog makes games in. But I would highly advise against pre-ordering games, because then companies know that they will get your money whether or not their game is buggy and glitchy and horrible when it comes out. So then they aren't as pressured to make a good game. So yeah, definitely I'd say try to pre-order as few games as you can. Just wait until reviews come out, or if your friends play it and hear what they say or something like that. So yeah, once again guys, thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed and have a great day.